Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Fortunate Diane. I'll be doing a reflection on what has been happening since I started my teaching practice at Tugela Secondary School. I learned that it is important as a teacher to integrate technologically in the classroom so that all learners get a bigger picture on what is happening or what has been taught. I also learned that the principal does not run the whole school by himself or herself. The teacher also plays a role into running the school. We learned that it is important that a teacher treats all learners with good manners so that they will show good manners to him or her as well. I learned that the teacher must always be in class on time. I also learned that integrating technology in class keep the learners focused. Resources used in class must be related to lesson. It must be related to lesson or what's being taught. When making posters, it is important to include the most important information and leave out what is not important. I also learned that organogram that is about it is about leadership, family tree, etc. I also learned that display and that they must be placed where everyone will get to see them. So it must be on the board, more especially because all learners can see what has been taught. They can all access the board. So it is important that whatever you want to display to them, you must put it in the board. It is important that you integrate technologically in class because it helps the learners remember what the lesson was all about. They never forget it. They like to watch, and then it's easy for them to memorize what has been taught. So I also learned that about structure a newspaper. Bringing the news in class help bring outside world inside classroom. So whatever is happening outside, if you bring the newspaper and you relate your lesson with the newspaper, it helps them. It equips their minds to focus on what it's happening in class. Newspaper used in class must have current news that will interest learners about the lesson, because learners they also has access to TVs, radios, and all that, so they know what is happening around the world. So if you take that through newspaper and bring that in class, it's easy for them to relate, and they never forget what has been taught as well. The posters used to teach learners must be interactive. A poster needs to be clear so that even a learner sitting at the back get to see clearly. So if you use clear posters, like when you print it, at least you must use color so that they will be able to see. Because if you use black and white, they might not see. Because we have, like in my school, we have like bigger classes, so it's for a learner sitting at the back, it's not easy to see the front. So it is very important to make sure that you use colors. When writing on the board, your handwriting need to be big enough for all learners to see. So it is very important to write clearly in the board. I had a problem with that as well, but as days goes by, I learned how to write. I mastered it, I can say that, because my mentor taught me that you need to draw the lines on the board, like you need to divide it so that when you write, you won't take it like maybe the first portion it is longer than the second portion. So I learned that as well. And then the teacher must not spend hours writing on the board, but he or she must write and teach. So you need to teach and then you write. Because when you teach, you're facing on the other side. You might not know what is happening at the back. So you need to write and then you face them again. You write and then you can face them so that they won't do some things while you are facing on the other side. The teacher should not stand in front of the board, but on the side so that no learner will be blocked. So you need to make sure that you are standing on the other side so that you need to make sure that you're standing on the other side so that while you're standing, because we used to write something, you write something on the board and then you stand in front of the board. They won't be able to see, and some of them they are scared to raise their hand and say, teacher, I can't see the board. So it is very important that you use the other side. I learned that as well. Then I learned that the teacher must read from the transparency, not from the screen. Thank you so much.